As we as a collective audience creep further and further into the year 2019, each day brings us closer and closer to the release of the conclusion to Marvel's decade-spanning cinematic saga. For 10 years, we have run, swam, and flown alongside the numerous heroic persons that make up the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While we've basked in the thrill of their many victories, we've also fallen sullen in the face of their defeats. To date, no defeat has sucked harder than the outcome of Infinity War. Not only did we lose half of all life in the universe, those sick writers actually killed characters we cared about. None of those losses behooved the internet more than that of Loki, the Asgardian god of mischief.
Surprise!
While there was universal mourning for Heimdall, Gamora, Vision, and all victims of the Snapping, in addition to the Prince of Asgard, the internet at large refused to believe Loki was gone. Whether it's because Loki has faked his death enough to have his murderer cracking jokes on his corpse,
No resurrections this time.
or the fact that nobody wanted to see this charmingly frustrating villain? Yeah, villain. Definitely villain. Since no one wanted to see Loki die, theories have sprung up like weeds. According to YouTube and Reddit, Loki has used everything from magic to mirror dimensions to Hulk body hopping to keep his mischievous spirit alive in a post-Thanos MCU. Well, I'm here to tell you folks that all those theories are 100% grade A horseplop. That fool is dead. Like dead. For reals. I'm HUDSIMUS Prime, and today I'm gonna tell you why Loki had to die and what that means for the future of Thor. Before we get into the deep end of my theory and what it means for the Thor corner of the MCU, this is the last call for spoilers. Specifically for Thor Ragnarok and Thor's 2008 comic run. I would say Infinity War as well, but my intro kinda crapped all over that. Anyway, here we go. While I am as miffed as the next guy that we may never get to see Tom Hiddleston's exquisite portrayal of Thor's brother foe again, his death was necessary. Loki's death added real emotional heft to Infinity War as he had completed his arc from complicated antagonist to accepted Odin's son, becoming a fan favorite in the process. Loki's death is essential toward Marvel's end goal for Thor's corner of the MCU. All Asgardians must die. Since the death of Frigga in The Dark World, Thor has systematically lost everyone closest to him. He was dumped off camera by Natalie Portman, and Lady Sif got lost after waking up covered in tattoos on NBC. His father, Odin, the Warriors 3, Heimdall, and Asgard itself have all fallen over the course of Thor's MCU adventures. Loki's death only solidified my theory. All of Asgard has to die so it can be reborn. Ragnarok, though often remembered as the twilight and fall of the Norse gods, that is actually a half-truth. As it is told in Norse myth, Ragnarok is actually the cycle of death and rebirth of the Asgardian pantheon. If you want to get really technical, it's designed to emulate the turning of seasons, but I don't want to go into that right now. In the 16 months since Thor Ragnarok released in theaters, Marvel has kicked the ever-living crap out of Asgard, destroying Asgard itself, sending its survivors into space before having Thanos murder half those survivors to start Infinity War, and half of the surviving half with a snap of his fingers at the movie's end. With all this death and a quarter of the surviving Asgardians left alive, I'm betting we've got an Asgardian rebirth just around the corner. And I've got the foreshadowing to prove it. On his way out the door, Odin explicitly tells Thor to remember this place as their home.
Remember this place. Home.
As an omnipresent being, I believe Odin is aware of what is to come for the MCU and is making preparations against it. He understands it's time for his Odin sleep and only passes on after planting the seed of rebirth within Thor's mind. Telling Thor and Loki, out of nowhere and cryptic as hell, to remember their current location as home sets the stage for Thor to initiate the rebirth of Asgard, after the Infinity Wars to come, of course. Norse myth notwithstanding, there is precedent for having Asgard located on Earth in the comics. Following Thor's most recent Ragnarok, titled Ragnaroks, and written by Michael Avon Oeming, Thor took a 2-year dirt nap before returning to Earth through his connection to Donald Blake. Yes, MCU only fans, that is a long story. Upon revival, Thor brings Asgard to Oklahoma and, more importantly, sets out to find his fallen comrades. Just like Thor was revived through his connection to Donald Blake, each of Asgard's main cast is revived within human hosts. Without delving too far into spoilers for J. Michael Straczynski's 2008 reboot, Thor more or less digs up his friends, with a few surprises thrown in for good measure. Perhaps the best of which is Loki no longer has a wiener. Thor, Loki, and Valkyrie are easily the best liked Asgardians because of their deviation from the high-toned Shakespearean personalities inspired by the comics. Their interactions with the worlds outside of Asgard have made them more interesting as characters by adapting to outside cultures. As much of Thor's support crew clings to their comic roots, they haven't been afforded the screen time to modernize them beyond dated speech. Adapting portions of this retelling for MCU Thor's story allows them creative leeway to reimagine an entire set of characters that received a lukewarm reception at best. It's no secret that Thor was the black sheep of the MCU stable. His movies, Thor the Dark World specifically, were merely vehicles to get him into the Avengers, and to varying degrees are seen as such. Thor Ragnarok, however, guided by Taika Waititi, was able to create a well-received supporting team by burning down the pseudo-medieval trappings of the first 2 films. By having all Thor's friends reborn in human hosts, Marvel can update his classic supporting cast to resonate better with modern audiences. If Taika can make this pile of pebbles a household name, I would love to see what he or somebody like-minded can do with the Warriors 3. And before anyone can even say it, I am aware this theory means Loki would most likely have to be recast. Personally, I think it'd be great to have Jamie Alexander show up as Loki for a movie or two before having him return to Hiddleston form. It would be a great callback to Sif's weird disappearance and reignite Loki as a mischievous force within the MCU. Perhaps just in time for this new series? Who knows. Whether the Avengers help bring about a universal reset or any surviving Asgardians simply need a new home, Asgard will come to Earth in Phase 4. Hell, if Thanos hadn't been a grade-A son of a diddly, Thor would be setting up shop in Norway right now. With Asgard finding new life on Earth, possibly with Tony Stark's engineering help, a la the comics, it would make sense for its most popular residents to find their way back as well. With every support player from Thor's first 2 films either dead or lost, the stage is set for a godly revival. It's much easier to rebuild a structure once the ground has been cleared, and unfortunately, that's why Loki and all his Asgardian brethren had to die. Those are just some of my thoughts on the matter, though. What I want to know is, what do you guys think? Do you think we'll see Asgard on Earth in the near future? Do you believe Loki is dead, or is he still smirking in the shadows somewhere like Peter Baelish? If Loki comes back, can anyone else compare to Tom Hiddleston's portrayal?
No! No! No!
Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys for being patient while I get back into the swing of some of this Marvel content. A lot's gonna be happening across the entertainment spectrum in the coming months, and I'm gonna do my best to stay on top of it. As always, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I would love a thumbs up if you thought I deserved it. Please check out my channel and subscribe for more theory videos, gaming videos, and general good time shenanigans. And as always, share the fun times with your friends so we can make this party pop off. Until next time, beautiful people, good luck in your day, and Godspeed.